Welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're about to have our online news review with two as usual, Mr. Clement Yabankwe and Miss Miriam Abnadidi. Hello.
Yeah.
We just finished our motivational devotion.
Very necessary.
But I didn't ask how we were doing. How are we doing?
Oh, I'm doing so well, as you can see. Very demure, very mindful.
Cutesy.
Of course, in a suit, red, nail polish, black shoes. Everything is giving what it's supposed to give.
Yeah.
Kind courtesy, my baby.
Hey. Yes. Papa. You're doing well.
60 wow.
Yeah.
Yet
So Clement, how are you doing? With the strike in play, what are your anticipations for the weekend? Are we coming to work?
Coming to work, dear.
We don't have
Club
a choice.
TV, we will come.
Come, dear,
But
will come.
Yes. our personally, okay, let me speak for myself. My issue here is I don't know the food I'm going to eat.
Oh.
Because the canteen, they are all on strike.
You see, that was why I was very disappointed when we're talking about trust. I wanted to say I'm very disappointed, at Amelia, our very own Kokosela down there.
Oh.
Like, she wasn't considerate. I mean, some of us still come to work.
I'm not sure she was aware.
It's so sad.
Because even here at Clock TV, some of us think we too are part of the strike.
Well,
Because
we are not.
part of Clock side.
Because we love you. Always come and report to you.
But I think aside that, I understand the business people for not coming, because in the business point of view, there is going to be lesser demand for their commodity. And whenever supply exceeds demand, they end up giving the food equally for free.
Yeah.
So if you're buying 10 cedis, they'll give you 50 cedis food instead of 10 cedis.
And that's
so they are
some
going
good
to,
news.
they are going to run at a loss. I think that's the main reason why.
You're also not being considered.
That's the main reason why they didn't come. But we hope at least 1 or 2 people will come. Yes.
We know how these strikes work. They will not come because they know a larger portion of the civil servants are not going to.
But a good news is I've seen a message. My producer is telling me that there is a package after this very show. So he said we should continue with the show, educate viewers. After that, speaking with manager, they will see what
I
they
hope
can
it's
do.
not the usual. Please, I just mentioned Amelia Coco for Shege reasons. We want heavy food. Please.
Okay, let's go quickly into what's trending out here.
Yeah.
What's up? What's happening?
We can't sit here and not talk about what is happening in America.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
Some good news, or should I say bad news for Africans? But there is a good news. I mean, our very own Donald Trump.
Who's very old?
Everybody's very own.
Oh, okay.
Has been sworn in as president for the United States of America. It was a very tight battle between Donald Trump and then Kamala. Looking at the records yesterday, I was following, closely. It looked very tight, but I'm so happy that Donald Trump won. But I am not too happy looking at his stance against illegal immigrants and also Africans. I feel he has, some kind of personal issue with Africans. I don't know, but he doesn't like blacks. He doesn't like Africans. That even explains the reason why he referred to us as a shithole.
Well, also, he hasn't been sworn in yet. He's just been elected.
Elected, okay, sure.
Maybe Kamala, just like people here, maybe they'll go and contend, take the results.
Oh, everything is clear.
I think
America is America.
She has already conceded.
Yeah, and even former President Barack Obama issued a press statement congratulating Donald Trump, even though he wanted Kamala to win. He made it very open. And I was surprised to see that, because here in Ghana, hardly would you see a former president, coming out to, support a political party because he believes in their policies. I hardly see that in Ghana.
I don't think it was because he believes in it, because he's also from Kamala's party.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It is just literally sort of the right thing to do, or the appropriate thing to do.
That's
You congratulate whoever wins.
Yeah.
Because if you sort of come out as a former president and a member of the opposition, and you probably rather say more derogatory things, you will end up causing more of a rift, because the two-party system already has the country on two opposing sides. So, you know, it's sort of even tends to become something to emulate. That's okay, yes, my opponent has won, or, you know, my opponent's party has won. It is just nice to say congratulations. Whether it's from his heart or wherever it is from.
Oh, he made it known that that was not a result they were waiting to see.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then just coming out to say congratulations is something that can, you know, rub off rightly on others, even the other party, regardless of the affiliation. So I think it's really good that he did that.
Yeah.
It is.
One thing I love about Donald Trump, let me just say, it is something I've learned about him that I think leaders should emulate, is the fact that he's very conservative when it comes to his decisions. He doesn't hover around his decisions. He doesn't deliberate, like waver. He's always taking a stance, and he is known for protecting, you know, the values and rights of people, especially the LGBTQ issue that you know, happened in America, where Joe Biden was not in support, but he says he's standing for their rights and fighting for them. And that is one thing that a lot of people said got him the votes, the numbers, because this group of people feel they have a rep, somebody who loves them. Unlike here in our jurisdiction, where our leaders are unable to take a firm stance on this decision. I mean, they should learn something from him, and if it is yes, yes, if it is no, no. Don't look at the benefit you're going to get, you know, at the end of the day.
You know, when you mentioned the aspect of the fact that Donald Trump is not necessarily a big fan of other races, I think it is one of the reasons that a lot of people were not happy, because the cases of police brutality, especially in the US, is quite high. And then now, you know, with this Make America Great Again, and they're going to build a wall to prevent more immigrants from coming in and all those things, almost as though there's some sort of racial cleansing that might happen. The redneck people also in the US, or the more racist people, even secretly racist, may seem to take this as a form of
threat.
Not even threat. They may take this as a platform to actually openly be more racist. And then also, of course, US has a big variety of different races and cultures in there, because it is the land of the free. People go there to seek opportunities, greener pastures. All three of you, us here. You know, so it begs the question that Trump's winning, does that make life rather unsafe for people of other races?
Of course.
Or he's going to, as you said, the rights of people now. Due to slavery, of course, we have so many blacks there now, or African Americans, I should use the appropriate term, African Americans there. Are their lives going to be as safeguarded? Are they going to be regarded as important as the white people or the Caucasians in there? These are things that we need to think about. Yes. Because you're talking about human rights, the right to even live is and now even there's this gun control issue.
Yes.
And you know the majority of people that have the guns? Yes. So now if these people decide that, okay, our Trump, our man is in power, and we have the prerogative to decide to rid this place of all, and we are sending them back to their own places, and we have more gun violence, then what is
okay, Clement.
Okay, so what I would say is that, yes, it's a good news to the people of United States. But the point is there is so much peace in the country. There was a lot of issues regarding their 2024 elections, about Trump having issues, sometimes even assassination, attacks twice. But aside all these things, the election is peaceful. That is the part I want Ghanaians should focus on. That aside all the differences they had, the election was peaceful. To an extent that the vice has accepted the fact that she has been defeated, and she has said congratulations message to Trump. But there is one thing Trump said in his campaign, and let me just quote it. He said he vowed that governed by a simple motto, that was his motto he was going by. And he said, promises made, promises kept. We are going to keep our promises.
Exactly.
So Trump was communicating to the Americans that any promise that Trump has made, he's going to make sure that it really happens. And that is what we are expecting leaders to do. If you make promises that this A, B, C is this what we're going to do, then let's see that's manifesting.
Yeah.
So we are going to do the same thing to our coming election.
Yeah.
We are going to look at the promises made during some years ago and what the Pool Watch will be giving them all these analysis, and we are going to give them what they really did. So you compare these two and you make your decision. Notwithstanding, people are saying that American elections has a correlation to our Ghana election because we are all practicing democracy. And it's true because over the years, whenever the Republican wins, it seems the New Patriotic Party in Ghana is going to win. Over the years, that has been the trend. Whenever the Democrats win, it means NDC is going to win. It changes. That was last 4 years. That the Democrats won, but NDC didn't win here. It was NPP. This time around, there have been a different analysis. The point is that the current certain governments of the American, their running mate is now the flag bearer for the Democrats. Yes, and a former president coming again as a president. That's Trump. When it comes to Ghana, we have the same situation. A vice president coming as a president. And a former president coming back as a president. When you look at this correlation carefully,
beautiful correlation.
Yes. I don't know whether it's going to be a positive related or negative related.
Clement, it is divine, straight from heaven.
But Mimi, if it's positive related, it means that then the former president is coming back again. But it's negatively related, meaning that the vice president is becoming president.
Exactly.
And it's so amazing that the two political parties in Ghana have also released a statement. This morning I saw that of the New Patriotic Party, and it was saying, wishing Trump all the best. And a very peculiar thing I took out of their statement was that he said, yes, you know that Republicans and the New Patriotic Party has so many things in common, especially the elephants. So there was the view that since the Republicans has won, meaning that New Patriotic Party is also going to win in Ghana. The same way the NDC is saying that since a former president has won in America, meaning that the former president in Ghana is also going to win. So these are the issues that actually we are supposed to look at. And Pool Watch, as you said, will bring them the detailed analysis on all this very matter.
Come December 7th, we are hoping for the best. And so let's all make sure to go out and
cast our votes.
Exercise your franchise, cast your votes. You can look at the US and decide to follow suit. You can do the opposite, but basically make sure to come out in your numbers and vote for your choice, and make sure it is based on your its name. So look, not to Abapa. So to Abapa for whoever you think is worthy to be president. So yes, what else is trending? More politics.
Yesterday I saw something in the news about our very own Ikradonko's late Ikradonko's party, Ghana Freedom Party, as they have withdrawn from the December 7th election in honor of its founder. And this has also brought some kind of controversies because just I think 2 days ago they released a statement that the running mate was going to be the flag bearer for the party, and now today we are saying that they've withdrawn. All these things are all in honor, of our late mother Ikradonko. So I don't really understand what is happening with the party.
So, Mimi, let me just say something. I saw the statement was last 2 days, GFP, and the statement was signed by their national organizer. So the question is, how come an organizer signs official document of a political party? Because from what we know, it's a secretary who happens to be the administrator who is supposed to sign any document that goes out. But here is the case that of the letter that is what they sent to EC was signed by the national organizer. And the secretary or the general secretary came out to say that it is criminality and it is not agreed by GFP.
okay.
According to so it's like a fight within a conflict within the GFP, because GFP has officially submitted Roman Father as the vice of Ekwedonkor as a running mate to EC.
Candidate.
Yes, as a presidential candidate to EC. And on that same day, that was when the organizer also submitted that document to EC that they've withdrawn. So now EC is left the one it should believe. So in this morning in the news, EC is set to look into this matter and sit with the leaders of GFP, and they'll see the way forward. And according to, okay, before I end, according to the secretary, he said in a discussion with Ekwedonkor some time ago, they asked her that, so mom, what happens if tomorrow and you are no more? And in a statement, she said, if I'm no more, my running mate is there.
Exactly.
So to them, they are saying they based on the statement of Ekwedonkor, late Ekwedonkor, to make such a decision. So they don't understand why the national organizer should release such a statement.
They shouldn't be stressing the Electoral Commission like that. I mean, just yesterday, we also saw in the news that NDC, the members of the National Democratic Congress are not really pleased with the voters register that EC brought out, and they want EC to come again. So I don't know if they want EC to go and reprint, the register. And like, sometimes I feel we overdo things. Let's give the EC some breathing space.
Well, I was going to say even about Ekwedomkor's thing. After hearing what you said, that it seems they are sort of withdrawing. I was worried about the ballot sheets. Because the ballot sheets are the main way to rig the elections. So if truly they have withdrawn, are they going to, what happens to the old printed ballot sheets?
It will be shredded away.
Shredded? Will all of it be shredded?
Yes, that should be the whole idea, because it won't be nice that on the D-Day, Mimi's ballot is having a Ekwedomkor's picture, my ballot is having Roman Father's picture.
But here is the case, we are in Ghana.
But we trust our Electoral Commission.
Yes, and then I was going to draw our attention to the fact that the country we are in here, we know that this country has a history of people buying people, putting them in their pockets. So on one hand, because the opposition party is in the opposition, there is the tendency to suspect the incumbent of, having the EC in their pockets. Yeah. And it is something that would happen if, the tables were turned.
Exactly.
So the EC is supposed to be autonomous. So it's based on, it has become more like, this is not an indictment against the EC or anything, but being an autonomous body, under normal circumstances, we would all be likely to believe that it's more like the highest bidder wins. So if the incumbent, having all the government money and things, could buy the EC, then the opposition has to sort of, how do they even say that term in Chi? They tighten something. And then they also have to stand that the EC too is able to operate autonomously without any external influences. So on one hand, I understand the NDC, but then of course, like you said, we need to also, there should be a limit to some of these things.
Yes, they should.
As much as you are calling for accountability and transparency, it gets to a point where you're overdoing it. But it's understandable.
Yes, very. Byra, this issue of GFP withdrawals, if it happens to be true, then as the last time we said, it's going to affect the numbering of the presidential candidates on the ballot.
She's number 3.
Yes, because if they've withdrawn it, they should be taken off. So that is also going to create a whole lot.
Are we now going to
new thing?
Even the numbers.
And even the numbers and the reprinting itself. If, we've been doing our own simulations here, coming up with all sorts of scenarios and things. If it turns out that some people are able to access some of the old ballot sheets, vote on it and come and just, add it to the new ones. You know how Ghana is. By the time we realize there's an issue that is inexplicable, sorry.
That's true.
And so that's why I was even asking that if truly they have withdrawn out of the race, what happens? And what is the guarantee that, yes, the shredding is going to be complete and thorough?
Yeah, so that is why we have rep of the political parties at the various printing presses. So they should be able to do their work thoroughly. For we, the people of Ghana, we believe in Electoral Commission, we believe in whatever they are doing. So the various rep of the political parties should make sure that anything that goes on in the printing press, they actually follow it so that there will not be any future issues. He also mentioned the fact that on the D-Day, someone will be thumbprinting an old ballot paper or something like that. So the polling agents need to be very vigilant on the day, on the time of counting.
Yeah.
When they realize this is wrong, please take it out so that we have peace in the country.
Then even as you mentioned, the polling agents and even the officials there, it brings us back to the trust. Ghanaians are trusting the EC. So please prove yourself worthy of this trust. Don't be bought by any political party. You know, because what I'm saying is very possible. I think over the years, there have been times where some accusations like that were made that there were some extra ballot sheets because in a constituency or a polling station, maybe this is the number of voters that turned out or the number of voters registered, but the results were way more than even the people. And we can't even guarantee that every single voter came to vote. So these are all things that we have to be on the lookout for. And if our officials are trustworthy, they haven't been bought by anybody or
nobody
any
can buy them. I trust them.
Not at all.
We are trusting
not at all.
Because today it is all about trust.
It's all about trust.
We trust
and
you,
we trust
okay?
EC.
Nobody can buy you.
Yeah, last trending news. Surprisingly, our own president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, unveiled statue of himself at Effiong Kwanta Hospital.
That's so nice.
In the Western region. He unveiled statues of himself in Effiong Kwanta Hospital. That's the regional hospital of Takoradi. And I was asking myself, why?
The why principle.
The why principle. Yes, the why principle. Why will he unveil statue of himself? And when I read the story, they said in honor of what he has done for the people of Western region. And I was like, so what has he done? That's my point of view.
You're right.
Yes, they're talking about the market circle renovation and interchange at Takoradi, and the mention of Sino hydro planting that he was doing. But the news is all these things, they have been halted and they have not been completed. So
he wasn't the one who started some of the projects.
So the statue, was it by the people or he?
That question, I think we need to get
I read some few, laughable comments about it.
We put a statue on our social media handles for viewers to have a look at it.
Because
it's interesting.
You are saying that, you're listing the projects he has embarked upon. So it makes sense that, the people of Effiong Kwanta, right?
Yeah. So the people of Western region.
The people of Western region will put up a statue to honor him, commemoration, all that. So is it them or is he himself that came to put up his own statue?
That question, I think we will dig into it and we would educate viewers.
I think producer says there is a video to that, so let's take a look at it.
Okay, so it seems the video is on hold, but let's take a few comments here. So Rose Entertainment says, good morning. And D&J Venture says, you want me to fight with you. US is still not ready for a woman to lead. The moment Kamala took over from Biden, it's a wara.
But that notwithstanding, when you look at the numbers, I'm just proud for our very own Kamala. She did so well. She did something.
Everybody's your very own. Just one. Hey.
She did so well as a woman to stand for presidency for the United States of America.
But we have had women presidents in other countries. So what is
this is America, United States, about over 50 states.
It's actually 50 states.
So, Mimi, with that, let me give viewers the results. With the exception of three states, results who were not out as at yesterday. Donald Trump had 294. You see, they vote based on that, and Harris had 223. In terms of votes, Harris had 67,905,673 votes, and Trump had 72,631,585 votes.
So
in percentage,
really
Trump was 50.8%, and Harris was 47.5%. The exception of three results not out.
Close. It was very close.
Well, regardless, congratulations to her. She has she's a beacon of hope to women out there. Even though we've had African countries or even countries out there that have female presidents, of course, it will be a very big win for women across the world to have a female president for the United States.
They should wait for me. I'm coming.
Yeah, we are waiting
Ghana.
for you.
We're hoping that Ikradonko would have set the record, but.
Well, there's hope. There are more women out there.
Yes, there are
more
lots.
ambitious women, as we have our own Mimi here.
Oh, give me a handshake.
Yes.
Women in power.
I mean, currently CPP flag bearer is a woman.
Wow.
So we have lots of women.
Of course, it's definitely an inspiration for women out there. So, of course, don't be stifled by gender norms and misogyny. Take that step. Just follow your dream. Push forward. Push harder. If Kamala could do it, you can do and do better. So, yes. Your newspapers, what's up on your newspapers?
Today, I have with me the Daily Graphic, today's Daily Graphic, and we have a few stories making headlines as usual. But our main story has to do with the Speaker of Parliament's recent meeting with the media. I think we'll elaborate more on that during the online newspaper review, but he says no constitutional crisis. Speaker of Parliament assures nation. So I wouldn't want to read because of the online. So basically that was what the so I think there's a video attached to this, so let's take a look at it.
Beloved Guardians, democracy will work only if we fight for it, says President Barack Obama of the United States. I swore an oath to uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and that I will do right to all manner of persons in accordance with the Constitution and the laws and conventions of Parliament, without fear or favor, affection, or ill will. I concluded the swearing of the oath with a call on God to help me. I'm very confident and have faith in God to see me through these dark days of Ghana and our young democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start this presser by disabusing and setting the minds of Ghanaians at ease. There is no constitutional crisis in this country. I repeat, there is no constitutional crisis in this country. The Parliament of Ghana is alive and working. Let nobody mislead, misinform, or disinform you and the country.
Yeah, so that was our illustrious Speaker of Parliament trying to let us know that the issues are not going to affect us gravely as we are afraid, because it seems, I mean, all these things going on between the Parliament and the judiciary, it seems as though the things that the Parliament is supposed to focus on isn't being focused on, and then time is going. We're getting to elections. The new year will also start. But we are glad to hear from him. So I don't even need to read the story anymore because we've heard everything. I think, yeah. So yes, the situation, as said here, is based on the court ruling that's rejected BAGBIN's efforts to overturn the prior decision that barred him from declaring the 4 parliamentary seats vacant. And he's saying that even though there's some sort of disagreement, it is not cause for alarm. So what else is trending? No, not trending. Your newspaper. Yes.
So
digitalized newspaper.
Before we get to newspaper, I think let's talk more into this very issue, because today Parliament is having a sit-in today, and people have been asking the question that where is the NDC caucus and the NPP caucus going to sit in the House of Parliament. Yesterday, during the speech or the address by the Speaker of Parliament, there were a few questions to him. And he made it emphatic that people who sit at the right side are the majority group, and people who sit at the left side are the majority group. When you go to the Parliament, minority, sorry. When you go to Parliament House, we base on the numbers of people there. So per what he is saying, meaning that the 4 people that he declared their seat vacant, it still remains. Per his submission yesterday, I have followed it, I have listened to it several and several again. It means it still remains. If it does, then meaning that NPP is still going to lose that number of 3 from what they have. As 137 less 3, they are going to have 134. And NDC will be losing 1 from what they have. As 137, they'll be losing 1, and it's going to be 136. So looking at this 2 incidents, meaning that the NDC will now become the majority in Parliament as today, as we speak. If nothing changes, then NDC is going to be majority in Parliament. But Yaira, in Speaker's submission, he said there is nothing like constitutional crisis. I was asking myself, what is constitutional crisis?
Well, the constitutional crisis here is the fact that there can't seem to be some sort of, resolution between the judiciary and the legislature. So in this case, what happens? Who intervenes? And if that person even intervenes, whose favor is it going into? And is the should I say the loser or the winner? Because in the end, one person is going to win, so to speak. Are they going to also concede the defeat? All of that. And then if the Constitution, which is the law of the land, is consulted for this issue and they still do not obey, then what happens? You see, and we as Ghanaians, we are scared. We are wondering, because there's so much to be addressed before this Parliament, ends. And, like our LI 2462, even our salary issue, there's a whole lot. And then now the problem about the seating arrangement. If these people don't even draw a conclusion as to where to be sitting, they would not want to sit down and deliberate on the issues at hand.
Yesterday, he even made a funny comment that it is not his job to show who to sit where. It is not his job.
They should sit one by one. They should just
Yara, this is the issue, per what you said. Constitutional crisis, it talks about the discrepancy between the judiciary and the legislature or the executive arms of government. But the Speaker of Parliament is saying there is nothing like that in Ghana as we speak, of which people or political analysts and lawyers are saying that we have such incidents. But the question is, why is Speaker of Parliament saying there's nothing like that in Ghana as we speak? So this question was very, very crucial. I followed what the Speaker of Parliament has addressed, and he made a statement that the Supreme Court has no say in parliamentary affairs, according to the Constitution. And he said that the very end, where the Supreme Court's power ends, that is where parliamentary power is begins. So if it's so, then Supreme Court has no say in the affairs of Parliament because Parliament is a whole body on its own. And whatever they follow is known as the parliamentary law or parliamentary proceedings. He also mentioned that looking at what is happening in Ghana currently, it's like the judiciary and the executive arms of government are conniving to weaken Parliament. He said that emphatically yesterday. And the question is, why is it so? He set an instance where the Parliament passed a bill that was the LGBTQ and supposed to be presented to the President. And on normal occasions, the President has not accepted. Neither is he even going to sign for it to be passed as a law. So with this issue that he cites, meaning that Parliament indirectly is weakening small by small. But interestingly, Yaira, he also said that he doesn't blame what is happening, but he blames the parliamentarians because they are making all this issue happen. Yes, so he said that parliamentary issues could have been resolved in Parliament. And why do you run quickly to the Supreme Court?
I think he's saying there's no constitutional crisis because of the fact that each arm of government is sovereign. So yes, Supreme Court has said what they want to say. That has no bearing over them, meaning that they are not going to, or him being the Speaker of Parliament or the leader of the legislature or legislative body, he's not going to take that or what the ruling by the Supreme Court into effect or into consideration for it to even take any effect on the proceedings. Since they are a sovereign body on their own, they have their own rules that govern them. They're going to go by that. So it's basically like, you see how we are colleagues, and then maybe your choice of tie. I've said, oh, wear a blue tie. You say, yeah, I can't do petrol. Me red tie. That is what sovereignty is all about. So I'm sure that is the angle he's taking it from. That as much as the judiciary has done its ruling, it lies on them as to whether or not to take it.
I also like the fact that he's manning up on his role as a Speaker of Parliament, not taking sides.
Yes.
Because if it was someone, he would have been like intimidated by the kind of pressure that's coming from the executive and also the judiciary. But I like the fact that he made mention of the fact that they cannot undermine the duties of the Parliament.
Because, the other time we were talking about precedences.
Yeah.
If the Parliament allows itself, for lack of a better word, to be bullied by the judiciary, then of course, checks and balances, separation of powers is undermined. Because if they are bullied today by the judiciary, tomorrow, if the judiciary is doing something that Parliament decides to speak,
they cannot.
Now they may be, who are you to?
And it happens.
Told you not to.
And it is becoming so obvious that the executive and also the judiciary are one, like against Parliament, which is not supposed to be the case.
This goes back to even some calls for constitutional review about certain appointments and powers to appoint certain key people in our governments, in our systems. Because if you are all appointed by the president,
automatically,
where do your loyalties lie? Your loyalty may be first to the person who appointed you because he gave you the job, before putting Ghana second, making Ghana not much of a priority, in comparison to whoever appointed you, which is something that as a country we need to look at, because we also need to look at the competence and then the implications of being appointed. Because Clement, if let's say I am related to some really big man and I can open doors for you, if I do that for you and now you are there, your loyalty may lie with me rather than the job you've been given. So now if I want my whims and caprices to be tended to in whatever organization I've been able to put you in, you will definitely pay attention to them because of the fact that you know that your hands are in my mouth.
Yes,
which is why at some point there was a call for constitutional review, and I think we need to amplify that so that these things are checked.
Yes. So Yara, let me say just one or two things on this same story. So people of the view that Supreme Court has a say, since it happens to be a constitutional interpretation. So according to Article 130(1) of the 1992 Constitution, it says that the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction in all matters relating to the enforcement or interpretation of this Constitution. But according to the Speaker of Parliament, he's trying to make people understand that this one is not really about the interpretation of Constitution. It's about the happenings in Parliament. So the happenings in Parliament should stay in Parliament. So he quotes Barack Obama, yes, and he made a statement that when he visited Ghana, I think in 2009, he said that blacks are strong men. And he used the word that not only the military or the service people, the security people are the strong men he was talking about, but those in suits are the strong men are talking about. So he is talking that in Parliament we should have some strong people who stand for what is right, not what really belongs to their party or what belongs to whatever they want to do. I think his call also is from the point that if he doesn't say, he doesn't speak in this matter, precedence would before him that there was a Speaker of Parliament who made the judiciary take control over the affairs of Parliament, because he cited the issue of the former Speaker of Parliament. In his time, nobody went to court for interpretation. So why is it that now, his time, people are doing that? So there are so many issues. Yes, last 2 days, you made talk of the issue of the South people, the people of
Sandro Govi.
Yes, and CRSIS constituency, where we recently had by-election, they were denied for representation for some number of period. So if he said that if Supreme Court is saying that they are denying people of representation, then what about those two constituencies? Are they more important than them?
Because I also am of the view that the Supreme Court, if they were going to get involved, should have started handling those issues first, so that if this is happening, they have a basis for ruling, for overruling BAGBIN's, rule or something. Because we've had incidents. I think now it's 2 incidences, right? 2 different constituencies. We've had 2, and nothing was said. And all of a sudden, you want to. It does not look good for the judiciary.
It's true.
Because why? It's almost like the boy who cried wolf. Why are you now crying wolf now? Especially the MPP coming to the judiciary. What are you seeking to achieve?
They'll blame it on leadership. Maybe during those times, we didn't have this Chief Justice and also Speaker of Parliament. So, but this precedent was set by their own Speaker of Parliament.
And they didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
And it was because of the numbers. You see, now the numbers has changed power. But interestingly, NDC caucus had a press briefing yesterday, right after Speaker of Parliament. And they are saying that, yes, they still maintain the position of majority caucus in Parliament. So today, when you go to the Parliament House, they will be at the right should I say right side or right hand side?
Why?
They are actually very petty.
But let me say what they said. Let me say what they said. They said that, yes, they will be there, but they are not there to say no to government business. They are there to work with their colleagues if only what they are bringing on board is to the best interest of the people of Ghana. They are in support of it.
Of course, that's
so
what
they shouldn't think that they are just there because they will be there to boycott government business. They will never do something like that.
And you see, the reason I'm saying they are very petty is that if NDC gets up to go sit at the right side, the MPP members can decide that then today the proceedings will not go on because they say they are there and they have the right to sit there. And this is something that can disrupt parliamentary business.
Yeah.
And it is very possible because they've done walkouts how many times?
So many times.
You know, like that is how bad this issue can get.
Well, my little advice, I know I can't advise you, but my little advice, please let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
It won't change anything. Or Clement, it will change something. If you are in majority, if you are in the majority, as at now, when we have just less than 30 days to elections, what does it change? It doesn't change anything.
Maybe it changes a lot, so because there are lots of things the government want to pass.
I think that has forced the Speaker of Parliament to come out to say there's no constitutional crisis, but there is. It is happening. We have a constitutional crisis, yes, because as at now, we've not been able to, tell who is majority, who is minority, just because judiciary has interfered in the affairs of the legislature.
Well, at the end of the day, regardless, elections are coming up. A new majority and minority will be set.
Oh, yes.
And this is after so now we are 30 days or 21 days, 29 days.
Something like
30.
Okay,
30
so
days.
we are 30 days away from a new majority, a new minority. Why not put all of this aside
and focus
on the things that need to be done? The backlog of issues that need to be cleared before we enter into the next political or even economic year. So please, our leaders, we come before you, pleading, imploring, we beg you.
The opposition party should know better. I keep saying this is an election year. The little thing you do will be used against you. They should know better and then just, relent on some of their activities and let's move on. Or Clement.
Yes. So we want peace. That's what I would say. But we hope to see how Parliament will be like today. But I believe since the Speaker of Parliament...
No one should sit on anybody's lap.
Yes, has already briefed the citizens on matters. I believe each party will know what to do today on the floor of Parliament. So we're going to have an interesting time.
Regardless, they should put the people of Ghana first.
And regardless, Speaker also said that if Supreme Court has forgotten, 3 months to general election, there's nothing like by-election. So even Constitution denies representative 3 months to general election. So that's what Speaker equally said. So if Supreme Court has forgotten that they can deny representative or others in Parliament, then they should refer back to Constitution that 3 months to general election. If an MP should die or anything should happen to him, there's nothing like by-election. So such people will still have no rep in Parliament. So their basis of making such decision is not really valid. That's what Speaker also said.
Well, let's go quickly to your story for the newspaper.
Yes, so I think mine we've already talked much about it. It's basically about the Sally changes in Bitcoin because of the president-elect in America. And also there is an issue of food prices going up, of which we will bring viewers details of it on the business update segment. And next week, we are going to go into our local food items. People are asking the question is that, why is it that in Accra, food prices go high? Why is it that in Kumasi, food prices are down? Next week, we'll bring them the reason why such things happen.
Okay. So we have some comments here. And Agudia Film Production is asking, is it the beginning of banter between the judiciary and parliament? That's cool. Then Ejawab Blessing also says, you are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. Please keep them coming. So the last story here is that Ghana records 3,400 new HIV infections in the first 9 months of 2024. So the National HIV and AIDS Control Program at the Ghana Health Service has announced that there have been over 34,000. Okay. So there's a little, is it 34,000 or 3,400?
34,000.
3,400.
3,400, yeah.
Okay. So the National HIV and AIDS Control Program at the Ghana Health Service has announced that there have been 3,400 new HIV infections from January through the third quarter of 2024. Dr. Stephen A.C. Addo, the program manager, emphasized the urgent need for public testing and screening, highlighting approximately 1.3 million individuals were screened during this time frame. Dr. Addo made these remarks during the launch of the 2024 World AIDS Day event organized by the Ghana AIDS Commission. Now, the ceremony included a candlelight procession to honor those who have lost their lives to AIDS. Now, between January and the third quarter alone, the number of people we have identified as positives through our testing activities was 3,400. And he said, that's what he said. Now, he also highlighted the vital importance of screening and treatment for those affected and urged the public to utilize free treatment options which are effective in controlling the virus.
So a quick correction, it's actually 34,000.
It's actually 34,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so the document here had typos. Sorry about that. So it's 34,000.
But
Records here.
Yeah, you're right. This is, should I say surprising, or it is, how do I even describe this situation? Because it's as if, the kind of noise we used to make about HIV back in those days has really dropped. And it is the reason why we are here today, because, 34,000 people.
It's serious.
HIV, and they are living with us. So, yeah.
And, there's also this sort of allegations or, paranoid rumors that people who are positive tend to want to spread it, So maybe somebody gets it from their partner and then goes on a revenge sharing spree and things. But when we were younger, even somewhere last week when we were talking about road safety, we played Obo's song about driving over speed and all of that. We used to have those kinds of campaigns. There was even a campaign about malaria. Even I remember malaria, free future. It was catchy. Children were singing. Then there was even one for the girl child education. I think even for AIDS, there was something about some ABC. I don't particularly remember the HIV/AIDS one, but now with the incidence of social media and access to so much information, how come we don't rather have skits and all the things people used to promote products and promote, a lot of agencies, rather coming out to do these awareness programs for us? Because back when there wasn't that much, at least every day on TV, you will find some awareness campaign being played out on TV. What is happening now?
I think the AIDS Commission, they are really doing their work by educating, but they should do more. Yeah. Because notwithstanding the youth too, I think we should be very careful.
Very, very careful.
Very, very careful. Some people, I don't know how to call it, but they will say, for better words, there will be like anything I see, I would run after, which is not the best. And I wonder why recently we can't see the what do you call? I don't know how to call it. Sorry, those days even on campus they share condoms and other things for students. If it happens that you can't hold it and you want to do it, you need to protect yourself.
So there is this stigma around, taking condoms and other things. When you take condoms, people are like automatically, what say, you're going to have sex. But I think we should really kill that stigma, because it is preventing a lot of people from protecting themselves, having sexual intercourse with their partners. Condoms should be propagated. People should give it out for free. It shouldn't even be sold. Condoms should be given out for free so that people can protect themselves, because in this age and time, there are so many sexual activities happening that, like, it has become normal. It is a norm. I had a conversation with a certain man. It's a personal experience, so I can share. So he, showed interest in me, and I was like, oh, okay. And just like that, he wanted us to have an encounter. And I was like, just like that.
A spiritual encounter. It took a person to actually water forest.
But why? Oh, but sex is common. I've had sex with this person, that person. So it is normal. And I was like, so this is the perception people have. Like, it is normal.
Yeah.
And that is what has led us to this stage. Exactly.
That's the whole issue, the whole cause of the sudden rise in AIDS records we have. So as we said, Mimi, the condom should be given to people. I have one friend, and this friend, whenever I see a lady, I see a condom in the bag, and I ask her why. She's like, Clement, you need to keep it in case of any emergency.
In case of anything.
And people might think that such a person is out just to give it to people. So we should clean all those perceptions, and the AIDS Commission should put, as you said, the programs in place. And the media houses should also, Clock TV would also be talking about issues like this, how we all are going to prevent AIDS, the spread of AIDS. It's not only through sex. Sometimes you get it through a sharp object being used by someone. So all these means can also cause AIDS.
Well, both of you are talking a lot about condoms, and I like the fact that you mentioned that, contracting these viruses or even sexually transmitted, infections are not only prevented through the use of condoms, and even specifically AIDS. The little I remember from the campaigns, even if you have a sore in your mouth, and somebody is infected, and you are, passionately kissing, exchanging saliva, all of that. It is a way to get infected. Yeah. And like you even said, sharp objects. People at home want to, I don't know why we cannot be individuals about certain things. You want to share the same
shaving
stick, roll on, like,
you are my sister, so there's nothing wrong.
Or even, even the Bible says we shouldn't wear each other's clothes. Some people like to share underwear and things like this, which... So I think with the presence of social media and such access to information, these things should be more sounded. Yeah. It's not just about condoms, because yes, condoms play a role. You can use the condom, you have a sore in your mouth, you're engaging in a section of the activity that does not require a condom. You can still contract, the HIV. And then, HIV or the treatment and all the medical processes for it have improved and advanced so much to the point where if you're carrying the HIV virus, it can become dormant, that if you're a woman who's pregnant, you will not even pass it on to your child. Yeah. So there have been so many advancements in the medical field with relation to HIV and AIDS that if you are living with it now, if you follow the rules, your medication and all that, you will live a full life. Yeah. And we need to also build up some mental resilience. Yes, you have AIDS, so what? Yeah, you're right. Live your life. Yes, people will discriminate against you.
People can't really accept such, news, just as you said. Yeah. So many people living it with that, and they tend to want to transfer it to others out of pain, out of revenge.
I'm even talking about the stigma, the ostracizing and feeling left out and all of that. Yes, it has happened, but
what can you do?
In the end, your life is yours. If you decide to starve yourself because Mimi is no longer talking to you because you got AIDS through God knows where, it is on you because she has made her decision and your life is yours. You decide whether or not, because I know there are definitely communities and support groups for people living with this, because yes, this is something they will face in society. But you know, it is, everybody has a role to play. So even us who are not living with the disease and things, we should get some information, knowledge about it, and also treat people who have the disease with kindness. Because I remember there used to be these campaigns telling us that, okay, eating with them does not mean you will contract it. You know, shaking their hand, it is not an airborne disease, it's sexually transmitted, it's a viral infection, and they are on medications, taking it. These are things that should be resounding. At least we should have 2 different adverts or campaigns on our TV stations, our social media platforms, to be educating people on this. Because with the advancement of HIV, where it has gotten to, we shouldn't be seeing this anymore. I feel people with the
virus should also be truthful to their colleagues or wherever they find themselves, assuming subsidy. I have the virus. I have to tell Clement. If Clement is interested in me, I have to be honest, you know, tell Clement that I have it. Are you good to go? Though I have it and I'm on medication, you're not going to contract it. Can we still go? Like,
Why
I mean,
you know, so there's also the fear that Clement will say, hey, please. So there, Clement should also have an open mind
I won't do that.
to
We'll
go with you to the hospital and get educated thoroughly on how these things work. And then you to be truthful with your medications. Take them religiously so that you don't put
Clement should also make sure he doesn't break my heart. If not, we are going down together.
Okay, let's take a few comments and then we wrap up here. So this is from Bright from Omanjo. He says, good morning, Coco Digest. You're doing a good job. Thank you. Then we also have, we have, okay, now let me get it quickly. Yes, so it says you have a Supreme Court entertaining a bill to decide whether it breaches the Constitution before it becomes law. When the mandate given to the Supreme Court is to ensure laws are consistent with the Constitution. It is not a very clear comment. Oh, let's get one. That's you. Okay, let's keep it calm. Keep calm. So this one says, why a statue at this time, despite our economy being deep doo-doo and perils, amidst the rule of law and justice system being undermined and under siege? Alas, he wants to be a living legend in the making. This is from Frank Cubland. Hey. Well,
but be demure. That's the president, oh, you.
Okay, so this is all we have for you here on the online and newspaper review. Thank you so much for your comments. Keep them coming. Up next is the lifestyle segment, and earlier she mentioned that she's going to be interviewing a musician about the Ghana music industry. So stay tuned. Right after this break, Miriam and her guest will be entertaining us with some music and, of course, talks about the music industry.